What I'm about to go over with you is very important, and I need y'all tapped in. I need y'all listening.
Third and 1. They go to the up back, Stevenson, and he gets free into the end zone. Freddie Stevenson's 4th score of the year.
For me, as somebody that's had an opportunity to make it to the highest levels of my profession, not only on the field, but off the field, having success as an athlete and as an entrepreneur, I know a little bit about success. For whatever goal you want to accomplish, you got to be willing to work for it. I remember being homeless when we were kids, in poverty, with not much hope. And all we really had to see was people strung out on drugs. And if you aren't careful, it's easy for these environments to consume you, to make you give up. And we would be bouncing around from place to place, not knowing where the next meal would come from, not knowing where we would lay our head at most nights. And there's one night in particular that I'll never forget. It was about 8 in the evening, and we were staying with someone, and they came into the house after getting off of work, and they noticed that one of my older siblings had broke something in the house. So they kicked us out the house. And now we're panicking. We don't know what we're gonna eat, where we're gonna stay. My mother, she gathers everybody together. After a while, about an hour or so, we come up on a McDonald's. Walk in, my mother goes to the front and orders a cheeseburger. At the time, we didn't realize that my mother only had $1 to her name. The total of the cheeseburger came out to $1.05. Realizing that she only had $1, my mother asked the cashier if it was okay for her to get the cheeseburger, even though she didn't have the nickel. But the cashier said no. So we then had to go around the McDonald's and have to ask people to loan her a nickel. And it was embarrassing. People looked at us like we were less than human beings, like we were worthless. They looked down on my mother. My father was in our lives, but unfortunately, because of the environment we grew up in, he made the decision to be a drug dealer because he thought that that was the best way to take care of his family.
What stood out to me was when he said he didn't know that they didn't have money, he didn't know he was poor. I relate to that. It was very much the same growing up myself. One of the things that I think was really impactful is that he said people were judging, but they didn't know his narrative. And I think that's true about every single human being, is we have to understand there's more to the story than what you see up front, and everybody has something they go through.
My story is similar to his, so I understood where he was coming from. I understood the trials and the tribulations that him and his family had to go through, and I just give kudos to his mom.
I felt very inspired and encouraged by his speech and to hear about his journey and how impactful his early childhood experience was. We know that it's important what we do, but it's always really great to hear a story and see the journey that he took.
As somebody that was counted out, that wasn't even expected to be here, nobody expected to be here. It's just a blessing to be here. I don't really want to leave these boys, but I know I got to take that next step and get ready for my future, be able to take care of my family and just reach my dreams, reach my goals.